Hi guys. So I've been watching some videos lately on YouTube of people who have taken like vans and converted them into a living space, or people who live in mobile tiny houses or live in their cars, or they fix up school buses. And I just think it's a really cool idea. Like, not only is it repurposing an old vehicle to use for something that I think is really cool. Um, I think it would be something fun. Like, it's something that I want to do. I want to look into getting something and fixing it up so that I can live in my vehicle. And a lot of people might think that sounds crazy, but to me, I just think of like how much money you could save on certain things. Like, you wouldn't have to pay rent unless you like live at a campground or something where you're paying like a lot rent, or if you have to pay somebody to park your van or your camper or your tiny house, whatever, on their property, then obviously you would have to pay for that. But I can't imagine that that would be as much as we pay to live in this house with utilities and, you know, all of that stuff. And I just think that it would be fun to be able to get out and travel, not necessarily be locked down to one area. That's the only thing that kind of sucks when you're renting or when you own a house. I feel like you're locked down to one area, and it can kind of get annoying, especially if you don't get along with your neighbors. Thankfully, in this neighborhood, we haven't had that problem, but when we were living in the apartment complex before we started living in hotels and all that, um, we had some absolutely horrible neighbors. Like, they would run around. Our apartment was on the first floor. The second floor neighbors would stomp around like elephants. It was so annoying. Like, I would be trying to make videos and you could hear the stomps and thumps and everything in the videos. And it was just really annoying and disruptive, and like trying to be on a phone call or a job interview or like study was hard. So I just think it would be nice to be able to move around if you feel the need to, or if you just want, a new view, some new scenery. So it's something that I've been considering. Like, I haven't narrowed down anything, obviously, because we're still like in this whole little financial crisis that we're having right now with trying to see if we can save this house so we don't get evicted. We are planning to move from this house, but we don't want the eviction on our record. So, we would like to be able to not be evicted, but we will move out when the lease is up. That is the plan. So, I don't know. I just thought that it was cool. Like, some of these school buses even that people have fixed up, it looks better than a freaking camper. Like, there's been a few that I've looked at where you would never be able to tell that it's a bus from the inside. Like, it looks like a super high-end RV with like I was watching one the other day, and they had like a marble countertop, and they had a super nice shower and everything. It was just really, really nice. And obviously there's certain things that you would miss out on. Like, you won't have a lot of space, but we don't have a lot of space in this house as it is. Like, this house is 500 square feet, so it's really not that big. Technically, our house is a tiny house if you want to be technical about it. I don't know. Like, I just think it would be really cool to not be tied down to something. I've kind of always been that way, though. Like, I've kind of always been sort of like gypsy-ish, I guess. And my family has told me that because my aunt, who lives in Tennessee, is kind of the same way. We kind of just go with the flow. And although I do have anxiety and a lot of that stuff holds me back at times, I do pretty much, for the most part, go with the flow, and just, kind of change as things change in my life. So I don't know. I don't know how feasible that would be with a Great Dane, because, I haven't really seen any videos where people have super large dogs. And obviously, like, Caesar is as tall as my husband when he stands on his back legs. Caesar likes to run throughout the house. He slips, like, in here because we have tile floors. He slips. We do have an area rug now, but he, like, slides through the house when he's running, and he catches that area rug. So I don't know how feasible it would be to do something like that with a giant breed dog, but I definitely want to try it. Like, I think it would be really cool if we could make that work. I don't know. I've just been like trying to keep my mind in a positive space, and sometimes it's really, really hard to do that, but other times it's not so hard. And when I get lost in like a little cycle of watching these videos of people like transforming things that aren't really considered housing into housing, I just think it's really cool, like the ideas that some people come up with and like what they're able to do. Because a lot of the stuff looks super cool, super high end, and I don't know. Anyways, if you guys watch any of that stuff, let me know, like, if you watch specific people on YouTube or if you've seen any, like, TV shows that cover stuff like that. I'd definitely be interested so that I can check it out myself. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? Would you ever do something like this? I don't know. How feasible do you think it is to live in that sort of a setting with a giant breed dog? Anyways, I will talk to you guys in my next video.